Welcome to week 2 of our daily experience. As we track along with this series, More Than Words, I'm so grateful that you have chosen to engage with this journey. And I hope that it's encouraging you. I hope that it's helping you think about what we're talking about on Sundays and maybe experience it in a little bit more personal way. Yesterday, we hit the part of the prayer that says, give us this day our daily bread. And we talked about how that's really just Jesus modeling for us, acknowledging our dependence on God. It's admitting our need for Him, which is a challenge for a lot of us because we really like to be independent. And we like to think of ourselves as independent people. It's a compliment when someone says about someone else, oh, she's a very independent woman, or he's very independent. But as we talked about yesterday, independence is really an illusion. It's an illusion. It's something that we think we have. We think we're independent, but we're not actually independent. We're all dependent on other people. We're all dependent on other entities, other things, and ultimately, a belief that's core to the Christian faith, we ultimately believe that we're dependent on God. And so independence is an illusion. It's a little bit like a magic trick. And I've shared this before, but when I was in high school, I got into magic. And I would go over to Eddie's Trick Shop over in Gwinnett County, where I grew up. And if I had a few extra bucks, I would buy, whatever latest trick, latest illusion that they had there. Even if I didn't have money, I would just go and see if they would show me a few of the latest things. And one of the interesting things is that, they wouldn't show you how the trick worked until you paid for it. And so when I had the opportunity to purchase something, they would show me how it works, and I would be thrilled with the magic trick before I purchased it. But then as soon as I purchased it and they showed me how it worked, all of a sudden all the fun kind of went away, and really what was replaced was, how did I not see that? There was this feeling of, I've been deceived, and really I shouldn't have been. Like, that was right there in plain sight the entire time. How did I miss that? It's one of the interesting things about magic. And in fact, I wanted to do I thought maybe we just do a magic trick to get started this week, kind of ease us into the videos. I've got a deck of cards here. You'll see all sorts of different cards in there. And I just want you to tell me when to stop. I'm going to just start shuffling through the deck, and I want you to tell me when to stop, okay? There. Keep going. I'll close my eyes. Right there. All right, here we go. That is your card. All right. I'm going to put it back here. And I want you to tell me, I'm going to just shuffle through the deck really quickly. I want you to tell me if you see your card, okay? Did you see it? Let's try it again. Any luck? You did not see it? Let's try it one more time. See it that time? It's just an illusion. It's just getting you to look somewhere else. I just used a trick deck to do that. It's called a Svengali deck. You can look it up. You can Google it. But that feeling of, gosh, how did I not see that? It's the same thing that happens to us in life. When we're going along in life and we come to a point where God opens our eyes to our need for Him in a certain area. And once we get on the other side of that discovery, we look back on that previous season and we go, how did I not see it? How did I not see my need for God, my dependence for God beforehand? It's one of the beautiful things about following Jesus, is the way He opens our eyes to these things in a gracious way, in a loving way, not a shaming and a condemning way. But then once our eyes are open, it's kind of like the magic trick. How did I not see that? And the reality is, we can all have a tendency to deceive ourselves. We can have a tendency to play a magic trick on ourselves and get ourselves believing that we are independent people. We are strong. We have what it takes, and we're doing this on our own. We've got everything under control. But when we do that, we're living with a little bit of deception. And we're missing out on what we could experience if we truly acknowledged our need for Him. The Apostle Paul in Colossians chapter 1, he's talking about Jesus and just all that Jesus is. And he says, for by him, all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities, all things were created by him and for him. He, Jesus, is before all things, and in him all things hold together. We get to places in our lives where we think we're holding it all together, but ultimately, in Jesus, all things hold together. So today, the question for you, the question for me is, where might we be deceiving ourselves? Where might we be playing a little magic trick on ourselves to think that we are ultimately independent? Because independence is an illusion. We're tricking ourselves if we think we've got that. Where might you be buying into that illusion today? Think about that. It oftentimes is the places where we find significance or we find validity or value, where we think we're really important. Those are the places where we feel most independent. And in those areas, I encourage you today to turn to God and say, God, I need you. I need you here. In this place where I think I've got it all together, I need you here. And I acknowledge, Jesus, that in you all things hold together. Let's declare our dependence on Him this week. I'll see you tomorrow.